So this hand took place. This would have been either 2010 or 2011. It was in Memphis, in the Vanderbilt. So the Spring Nationals in the US. I was playing with a sponsor, John McAllister, and our teammates were two US juniors. Stephen Drudge, who I guess has joined me on commentary. Memphis is spring. Well, that's a little harsh to Memphis. But anyway, so Stephen Drudge, who joined me on commentary for, I think, some of the Solway knockout and some of the Risinger. And then his partner at the time, who was Sean Gannon, another US junior player at the time. So this would, like I said, this is 2010, 2011. We were in a four-way match. So prior, I don't know how things are done nowadays. It seems like they cut down to the round of 32 after some sort of like Swiss or whatever. At least for the Solway they did that. But before that, you would have to play in to reach the round of 64. And then you were seeded based on like your seeding points once you got there. So they reseeded everyone at the end of the play-in stage. So a lot of the top teams would get byes, and then a bunch of the bottom-ranked teams would have to play these other matches. Sometimes they were head-to-head, sometimes it was three ways, where you choose one or two teams to move on. This year it was a four-way, there were a bunch of entrants, and so our four-way squad was my team, four-handed, the Argentinian national team, which is like, I forget who they were at the time, but those guys, the Indian national team, and then there was another four-handed team with a sponsor, Daniel Zagorin, Kevin Bathurst, Roger Lee, and Josh Don. So in the afternoon, we played two heads-up matches, and both of those, so we ended up playing against the Argentinian national team. We lost, and so we had to come back and play the evening. The other US team, Zagorin, Bathurst, Lee, and Dunn, also lost to the Indian national team and ended up having to play in the evening against us. And we get to this hand. I, at the time, was a fairly unknown bridge player, I guess, on the national circuit. Same with my sponsor. This was his first time ever outside of the local bridge club. And our junior teammates were also fairly unknown. Roger Lee and Josh Don had just won the Blue Ribbon Pairs, I think, in the previous nationals, fall nationals. So they'd been coming off a hot streak, and of course Kevin Bathurst and Dan Zagorin were a long-time partnership at the time, with the sponsor, of course. So I pick up these cards, and we're playing against Roger Lee on my right and Josh Don on my left. I don't recall the auction, and again, I don't even recall if this is the right hand, but it was something to this effect. I opened a spade, West passed, partner bid 4 spades, all pass. We get the ace of hearts lead. And this was the dummy that hit. We're playing imps, of course, so my objective is just to make my contract. I have a heart loser, I have 2 club losers, no trump losers, no diamond losers, but there's some work to be done. So the first trick goes ace 2, 6, queen. And Josh Don goes into the tank for about 5 minutes and eventually emerges with a trump. So he leads the 8 of spades. And at this point, I started thinking, you know, he'd been thinking for a while. He eventually switches to a trump, which looks like a pretty strong defense. Of course, they could have cashed 2 clubs first, but he elected not to or didn't work out to do it. And I thought for about 5 or 6 minutes, and then I started calling cards in this like really monotone voice. And I started doing it very quickly. So I was calling cards and I was just like 5 of spades, 9 of diamonds, 6 of spades, and I started playing out the hand very quickly. And right around this trick, when I roughed in with the 2 of spades, I called for the 3 of hearts. I went 3 of hearts, 7 of hearts. I roughed in low. And Josh turns and says to me, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, slow down there, BradyBot." As if I was like this robot speaking in some sort of monotone cadence. And I mean, he was right. I kind of was playing the hand in a robotic sense, but I thought I had a good picture of the hand, and I was rewarded with what happened when Josh showed it. Did he show out on this trick? No, he didn't show out on this trick, but when I roughed a diamond, Roger showed out on this trick, and then when I roughed a heart, Josh showed out on the next trick. So both red suits were 5-2, and I needed to guess who had the remaining 7 of spades to make the hand on a cross ruff. If Josh had had that card, I would have needed to win the jack of spades in dummy, preserving an extra high trump in hand. Additionally, you know, after the ace of hearts and a trump, if I just wanted to play some red suit to be 4-3, then I could have pulled a second round of trump, but the tempo and the long pauses and everything at the table made me believe that everything was splitting badly, and so after spending a while thinking about what the deal looked like, I just started doing this very robotic type thing. So Josh called me BradyBot, and for whatever reason the nickname stuck. So it became my new screen name on BBO, and I guess people started calling me it at tournaments, which was kind of cool.